Well, let's go off on a tangent for a second because you mentioned reparations. And I just did an interview with Faizon Love where we talked about, the proposed California reparations, which is at $223,000. And Faizon's reply was like, fuck that $223,000. That's just going to go back to Cadillac and Mercedes. What we really need is no taxes. When a black person turns 18, they automatically qualify for a house. That type of thing.
Fuck that $203,000. You know what it is? Fuck that. That's another trick bag. You know why? Because that money's gonna go right back to Cadillac, right back to motherfucking Benz. Fuck that. You know what it should be? Black people should be tax exempt. Because when you were a slave, you were tax write-offs.
And people got mad at him saying, oh, well, he was born in Cuba. He's a foreigner. He shouldn't even have an opinion about this, even though Faizon's dad is black. Yes, his mom is Cuban.
I could tell. I could tell. Here's the thing that I find interesting.
Mm-hmm.
First, it was just pie in the sky kind of thing, and nobody ever thought it would happen.
Mm-hmm.
If people, because the argument you give with reparations is that people go, oh, I never did this, and no, I never owned slaves. And there's one thing that's unassailable. If the country gave back the things they stole from black people, if they gave back, for instance, that land in Hermosa Beach or Manhattan Beach that they gave back.
Which they just did.
If America where the 10 freeway started in California, there's a place called Sugar Hill. It was a predominantly black neighborhood. It was a wealthy black neighborhood. And the 10 freeway goes to black wealthy neighborhoods. So they disenfranchised those people. There's a place, Bob Jones, in Dallas, where they took his land, and now it's some of the wealthiest areas in Dallas, in Oklahoma, in Louisiana. The black people own Central Park. So if you can't argue the reparations, there is no arguing restorative justice. So you just gave black people the things you took from them.
Yeah.
Or the fair market value, it would more than pay for what reparations go. And there's no arguing. You stole this from them on this date at this time for this reason. That to me is a more feasible argument that's more unassailable than some people saying there's an argument, well, I didn't own slaves and I don't see why. There is no argument about you taking this land from these people because it was racism, taking this land from these people because it was racism, building parks and bases and bridges and public works on black land because you knew that you could. We can prove those things. And I think that, to me, is unassailable.
Yeah, I agree.
You can't say they took that land from those people in 1901 because LA City Council said they should and the Klan said they should. They took it. They've done these things. And so a nebulous argument is I'm the descendant of slaves, you pay me. You have an argument. There are people who argue I didn't do anything. You can't argue that you benefit from this property being here, stealing it from black people, give them what it's worth.
Listen, I agree. We were the first hip hop outlet to really pick up the whole Manhattan Beach story.
Right.
It was in the LA Times and it was really very much, no one was covering it. We covered it right away. And then other, hip hop outlets started to cover it and it started to build up steam. I'm not going to say it's because of us. It's not. But we were one of the media forces behind this push, which ultimately gave the family of that beach the land. Well, they didn't give them the land back, but they basically agreed to lease it from them and give them a bunch of money to basically compensate for what had happened.
If you look, it's not just here. There's a place in Agoura, Westlake Agoura.
Yeah.
A black family, the Ballard family, a black freed slave from Tennessee, settled there. And in Malibu. They took that land from them because they was niggas. Took it from them. Didn't have to say anything. Do you know what it takes at the turn of the century in the 1900s for a black man to buy beachfront property? You know what kind of ingenuity he had to have? And just you giving it back to him now, imagine how much wealth he would have accrued over all this time had he owned beachfront property in California that long. Yeah. There's just imagine what would happen if Bob Jones, who now just has a plaque on the area that his father gave him. He was a son of a slave owner. He was half white. They gave him that land. The city of Dallas with the Army Corps of Engineers took his land from him. And all he gets is a plaque. in Oklahoma, in Georgia, in Arkansas, in Alabama. These things repeated themselves all over the country. So if you say I didn't do anything wrong here, my family never owned slaves, they damn sure sat on city councils and planning meetings and redistricting meetings. They did that, and we can prove it. It happened right here. This guy owned it. Pay him fair market value for what you took from him.